It's game time, we ain't playing with you. It's game time, it's game time, we ain't playing with you. That's how we ball for y'all.
What up, what up, what up, what up? You're rocking with Do Bob. Yo, thanks for joining for episode 103. Round of applause. Yeah, so we back at it, keeping up dated with the war. And I've been checking it out. It's still looking like we still in war. We still haven't came or we haven't finished the agreement, supposedly. But it's very interesting, even though, they're supposed to be negotiation ceasefire, 60 days, supposed to be nothing going on. No, 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 not according to Iran. Iran, they didn't like the way we was moving through the strait. So this is the thing that we're happening now. It just opened up. See, the bad part where it opened up now is like Iran thinks they have control of the strait, and they didn't have control of it before the war started. So now it's like, yeah, sure, ships can go through smoothly, oil, whatever. But hey, you know what? We want you to use a certain route. Not just the regular. Now it's like north, east, west. Now you gotta use a certain route. We don't. Hey, we didn't agree to that other route. Now you go west, or we're gonna actually. It might be some trouble over there. Now you have certain places you can't go. So it's like that sounds like Iran has control of the strait. How did this happen? Because we gave them opportunity. We gave them opportunity and gave them something now, like I talked about last time. Now they got something to play with us. Now they kind of see that, okay, all right, yeah, we might be able to make a little money on it. So now they kind of calculating through their mind, like, hmm, how much money can we probably try to make, or how much money we can kind of tax to use go through this thing? And before they didn't even think about that. So that is another problem that US and Donald Trump is gonna have to face because they're seeing the opportunity. They're seeing the money that maybe they can make running different shipments through the strait. And now they like, hey, we're a dictatorship of who can go through there. What country we could use to actually allow to run through the strait wherever they want. But us, no, no, we cannot. We cannot. And that's what happened. That's what happened. That's why they ended up bombing one of the oil ships. And now they're looking at us like, hey, you gotta make sure you follow the rules. Like, how do you tell the USA you make sure you follow the rules? When do we get to this point? You know? When did we get to this point? And Donald Trump's still kind of in denial where he thinks, hey, he's threatening them. Hey, don't do this, don't do that. But if you're in negotiation, it's still talking about the ceasefire. That doesn't qualify under the ceasefire, but I guess you have rules on top of that. And that's where that's where they gotta go back to the the table to see how this is gonna happen because Iran says they own the Strait of Hormuz. They own that. That's theirs. We control that now. USJ but not. But then Donald Trump is saying, hey, I can go in there anytime and destroy all. We could stop all this negotiation now. I could just destroy everything. I already destroy half of your all the leaderships. They already hide it, and they don't know who's gonna fight you over. He said, you know, she heard in the conference room. Nobody wants to take charge because they know something maybe bad gonna happen to them if they or to their families or something. Because when it's time to negotiate, it's time to negotiate. We tired. We tired of this war. We're tired of this war. We want to wrap this up. Okay, put some deals on the table. You agree or you disagree, but we're getting to the point where it's like, hey, we need you. We it's no more. It's no more playing no more. So he said, all right, we're gonna give you another 60 days. We're not gonna do anything. And Iran's like, yeah, we're not gonna do anything, but you gotta obey by our rules. So they had to say.
Insists that technical talks are going to continue, while the Iranians say there are no talks scheduled for this week. And the Iranians are now insisting that they alone control the Strait of Hormuz after a weekend of strikes from both sides. Iran launched missiles and drones this weekend at U.S. military sites in the region, triggering explosions in the sky and air raid sirens on the ground as U.S. fighter jets flew over the Arabian Sea. U.S. forces hitting these Iranian military targets near the Strait of Hormuz. The Pentagon says the strikes were in response to Iran's attacks on oil tankers. They came just 3 days after President Trump said this.
Iran is being very nice. They're agreeing to everything that I want, and they have to.
But his stance changed this weekend as he unloaded online on Iran's leaders, warning that the U.S. may be forced to militarily complete the job that we very successfully started. If that happens, he said, the Islamic Republic of Iran will no longer exist. The reversal comes just over a week after Trump signed this memorandum of understanding with Iran at Versailles in France. It was supposed to kick off 60 days of nuclear negotiations and bring the nearly 4-month-old war to an end. The agreement was aimed at reopening the crucial Strait of Hormuz to allow the free flow of oil. But this weekend, a top Iranian official warned the Strait of Hormuz is governed by Iran, adding, if you do not learn the rules, the Iranian armed forces will teach them.
They don't learn the rules. U.S. is going to teach. Come on. When we get to this point? When we get to this point? So we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see if we go back to the drawing board, figure a way how we can control this situation because something doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. If they're in a negotiation and it has ceased fire for 60 days, why is missiles going back and forth? We retaliating because you did this. It's just like, come on, guys. So we have to all get on the right page, and but I don't see Iran really trying to give up what they got because he was doing different calculations. Like, man, they might be sitting on like $84 billion if they control the strait. So that definitely takes into consideration of this lifting their $25 billion. Then we was giving them an extra 300 million. Well, that was just a rumor. There was no way we're gonna do that, but they're looking at different ways that maybe they can capitalize and make more money. But we like, hold on. No, we wanna go back to what we had it before. They like, no, we not. We don't wanna go back. We might have to, so we gotta see how is are they gonna battle it out? Like, we gotta see, hopefully they come to an agreement and then we just keep paying attention. But it's looking like they want us to buy by their rules now. That's hilarious. But I don't know where we got from there now, but hey, pay attention. You know. Another thing I seen, a small plane crashed in one of the tallest skyscraper in Beijing. Oh, why people are kind of saying like, how did that happen? When China has a very controlling air system where they don't allow different planes to just go ahead and just be out of control like this. I don't think this never happened in one of the tallest buildings. The sad thing about it, we don't, they still didn't report who was driving the plane and this and that, but we was just having kind of like USA was kind of having flash plays that looked something similar to. Definitely 9/11. So we're wondering, like, is that like a terrorist attack? Was that a terrorist attack going on with China? And that fact that we're in this war situation, it, does anything just have to do with anything? Like, because the way China try to delete all this off on the social media, they try to wipe out all the video. Like, they didn't want nobody to see this. So I felt that was weird for that to happen too. How? And I hope we ever don't get to the point where where they can control us like that. Just like, hey, we don't even want you to see anything, so we're just gonna wipe it off social media. Then I was like, oh well, now are they gonna like just because we don't have those type of rules in place? Are they gonna like release something that we didn't want them to see? So it's just funny how that happened, but this is how it looked.
Craft crashed into Beijing's tallest skyscraper, the China Zun Tower today, sending debris falling near the building's eastern entrance and triggering a major emergency response. The aircraft struck the upper floors of the 528-meter-tall skyscraper, officially known as the CITIC Tower, which is one of the 10 tallest buildings in the world. Witnesses said they heard a loud explosion before seeing damaged glass panels and debris scattered below. Police, firefighters, and ambulances quickly arrived at the scene, while authorities closed nearby roads and evacuated parts of the area as a precaution. Chinese officials had not immediately released details about casualties or what caused the crash. An investigation is now underway. The incident is especially unusual because Beijing has some of the world's strictest airspace controls, making aircraft accidents over the city extremely rare. The China Zun Tower, completed in 2018, stands 528 meters, 1,732 feet, tall with 108 floors, and serves as one of the capital's most recognizable landmarks.
So that was strange to them, even for China. So, and they kind of don't want anything to talk about it. I hope this has nothing to do with any war. I hope this doesn't have to do with sending a message with anybody, because it's just very strange how something like this can happen. And then to the tallest skyscraper, it's like they're sending it looked like it was sending a message. Luckily, I was like, damn, well, the way they hit it, lucky it was a small plane. It doesn't look like it really affected the building. And shit, it didn't even chip the building. It didn't go all the way through the building and actually hit it. It fell directly down and you can see the explosion. So it really wouldn't have a big impact, but I feel like it's a message. It could be a message. Could be a message. And China didn't want anybody to see it. They tried to quickly take it off social media, but somebody posted it. Somebody got it. And now we're playing it over and over. So, you know, these type of things you gotta pick, they gotta see what is this a terror attack? Is this a terrorist attack that China doesn't want to talk about? Both see if anything else comes out when it comes to that. Another tragedy that's been going on in the world, Venezuela, 7.5 earthquake devastated to the families there. Seen footage where it knocked down a whole hotel. So that's how strong the earthquake and the impact was. And they said it wasn't just the first one, it was the second one. So that's the thing people always want to worry about that. Sometimes they say the aftershock is even stronger. So for them to get hit like that, in a while is definitely tragedy. Um, Definitely heartbreaking seeing all that stuff, seeing their different homes, different people still under rubble and where certain cities couldn't even go there and help. And I don't know what the situation with Mexico or Mexico is talking about they gotta wait, and why would you have to wait in that type of situation? So just hates that for that to happen in the third world. But then it started having another after effect with other cities. So it started kind of impacting. So it's definitely devastation because that earthquake you just never know what's gonna happen. All I said they already counting. It was like and there were 1,000 people died off that one. Like it's just bad, bad. It's very bad. So we're definitely praying for Venezuela. Even though I don't know if Donald Trump was talking about he still wanted to take over Venezuela. So I don't know how's that with the negotiation with that terms or whatever, but it's just a tragedy that happened to Venezuela. So hopefully, everybody, who families and things in the state who lives in Venezuela, and just prayers over, from that situation. Yeah, very sad. You know, and say Mother Nature. The nature, you just can't control these type of things, but heart goes out to everybody affected with that situation. Do some New York news. The mayor Mandani, uh, eh, he actually, he ran his campaign saying that he was going to actually freeze the rent control. That was something that they was really rooting for. So he finally made that way and made it happen. So I think freezing the rent control for like 2 years on affordable housing. And people for that. So that's what he had to say.
Just froze the rent. That means if you're one of the more than 2 million New Yorkers who lives in a rent stabilized apartment, your rent's going to be frozen next year.
For him to, get that done, I think that's big for the city because that didn't happen in, forever. So I had to really work something out to get that done. Um, I'd say the good things. I got my opinion on the good things and I got the bad things. But this is what also Trump had to say about about that happening. So
But what the mayor doesn't say is that these buildings will soon turn into ghettos and slums and that everybody will continue leaving New York. And as this spreads throughout the country, very much like an uncontrollable form of cancer, the country itself will be taken down. It will be third world, strictly third world. But what the
so for him to say that, Uh, a lot of people already left New York. We didn't know that, Trump. Certain people, things are already high as hell. So it's easier to move somewhere and start over almost and get a nice job and kind of have a better living in certain areas than especially the city, especially So in my opinion, when it comes to that, it's like a good thing. Um, but I just want to see if it's gonna affect the outcome being really bad in these situations when it comes to the building not being in certain maintenance because now they're gonna have say that they don't have money to upkeep this and they don't have money to do that and this and that. But I feel like the rent was going up every year anyway. It was just increasing. It was every time you turn around, it's increasing. It's increasing again. So for that to be good for the city, and then they say, certain buildings in the city, it's terrible already. So it's like how much they feel like, damn, how much worse can it get? If I could save some money here now, how much worse could the building get when some landlords it's not good. Some landlords are not good, and some people who owns these buildings are not taking care of the building correctly. It's people still paying thousands of dollars to live in a square foot certain apartment and it's still the building is terrible. So hopefully that helps put more money in people's pocket and if they want to get together and buy a house, whatever that situation. But on the other hand, I'm looking at some people also arguing that maybe this is a play that they want government to take over their buildings because it's gonna force maybe some people who owns these buildings, they can't pay and maintain it, and they're gonna get fined. Because my Donnie said he's not playing with them. He still finds out that certain landlords or certain building owners keeping out the property bad. He's gonna find them. He's gonna find them. So it's gonna get to a point where they're gonna get so much fine, and or it's gonna be a point where they can't afford. Inflation's always going on, so and then they're gonna have to sell it, and then the only person really got all the money to buy it is gonna be the government. So that's what we're afraid of. They don't want that to happen because if the government you already know how that goes. They gonna take it over, maybe knock it down certain communities, certain areas that they might not like. They're gonna knock it down, gentrify it. They say, so move everybody who's lived there out and get some new people in there. So that's something we gotta pay attention to because it's like it could be a 50-50. If it works, then I look at other cities trying to move there and try to do the same thing that what the mayor is kind of trying to put in place. But if it don't work, then it looks like this is the reason why they don't kind of freeze the rent, and we just gotta keep up with the economy. If it does, economy, unfortunately, if it goes up, the rent has to go up. So it's bad, but hey, I don't see building owner and landlords. I don't see them doing a good job already in the city, and keeping up with certain buildings where it could be better. It could be better, especially people paying thousands of dollars, man. Where's that money going? If it ain't going to the building, the government's taking care of it. Where's the money going? So something's off. Something's off. Something's off with the cost. But see how that puts in effect. We'll see if that works out and see what people feel about it. Let's get some music topic. Clyde Davis, Clyde Davis, rest in peace, 94, lived a hell of a life, 94. You can't complain when you look up to 94. And then he's leaving, a legacy behind. He's definitely a legend. Looked at what people he actually put on, man. It was crazy. At the list of that, Alicia Keys, Aretha Franklin, Luther Vandross, that's it's like the R&B. And then you want to go to like the hip hop and rap. He said a partnership with he's whole TLC, Tony Braxton. He had the partnership with Usher. B.I.G. probably with P. Diddy, he was always, definitely rocking with P. Diddy. And then he's have a different categories too. He had pop, and then he had rock and roll, and then so he had Aerosmith, Bruce Springsteen, Billy Joel, Santana. Like so he definitely had a talent of finding talent. And there's nothing like that. When you have when you produce legends after legends, so you have something about you that you can definitely, and then always his biggest star, Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston. We're not gonna speculate whatever, but until some other stories come out. But he's definitely a pioneer in music, and he put a lot of work in the game, and to do that in different categories is tough. It's tough. Touched on R&B, hip hop, and pop and rock, like, and found great talent. Come on, so definitely, 94 lived a great life. Definitely people gonna miss him and play, his music that he discovered, people discovered, and everything that he put his hands on in the music, it's gonna live on. It's gonna live on. So yeah, rest in peace to Clyde Davis on that one. Speaking on music, Jay Z had the pop up. He had pop up in Brooklyn. Hella dope. It's definitely celebrating the 30 years of Reasonable Doubt. Reasonable Doubt, time flies. Time flies on that. But definitely, like you said, his favorite album is the first one. It gotta be the first one because that's where it all started. That's where it all kind of developed. So he kind of just played homage going back into his Lexus. He had the Lexus. Then he kind of celebrated kind of theme of in the subway, had a little subway theme that he was dealing with. So yeah, check it out. Era. Chance to get some merch. We it's decorating out the subway, had the videos going, had the merch going, had food going there. So had the theme celebrating the music. Guru was there on the ones and twos. So uh, then he had his daughter there, Blue. So that's definitely showing up the rock. So yeah, he's that's definitely keep the energy, keep the momentum going. Because he's got the Yankee Stadium coming up in July. So and then after that, he of course have another concert. Or but it's always good to see how you see the history of Jay Z how it started. So that's definitely dope. And then talking about Jay Z, he cleared up a quick rumor too. People talking about he had a lace front. He's like, nah, actually, it's my hair. You know what I mean? It's my hair. It's what I actually grew out. They grew out 8 years and 8 years. So had locks. And then, this third product that he's promoting with Beyonce. She helped him take out his hair. So it was cool to see it kind of behind the scenes look, and also Jay Z with his hair out. That was cool, but so shot it.
8 years of locks. Now, we all naturally shed 50 to 150 strands a day. So imagine almost 9 years of locked hair.
You look so handsome.
Now, I was pretty obsessed with Jay's locks. Honestly, I didn't really want him to cut them. It's a lot of memories stored in locks. Locks can be like antennas, connecting us to frequencies and energies. Hair grows, people grow, so the transformation can be emotional.
Detangling spray.
And she sprayed in my ear.
We started at the bottom of the lock and worked our way higher and higher until we got to the base, which was the hardest to detangle.
We're using 3.
You know this is totally locked. And I'm gonna put the comb. Look. Look.
Yeah. So yeah, it just shows the whole process, with taking out his hair, getting ready before he performed at the Roots picnic. So that's cool to see behind the scene, and then kind of the concept, the reason why he even grew his hair out. Nobody knew that, so that was kind of cool to hear because Blue, she was kind of feeling insecure about just having her hair when she was getting older, her hair, the way her hair was, and you just saying, my hair is the same way as yours. It's something that you should be proud of. Look, I'm gonna grow mine's out. So he became the game in the process of getting them comfortable. Just for his own daughter, just to be comfortable with her hair. So that was a cool story. Probably nobody knew about, so it was a good concept. Then I even know that Blue wrote a book off that too. So yeah, so it's good. The Carter's family trio. So that was cool to see. That was cool to see. But sticking on music, also what I checked out is the BET Awards, man. The BET Awards. But yes, the BET. The BET. So he kicked it off. Ti kicked off the performance, so it was definitely cool to watch BET. Definitely had energy early in the building, so he had all that. Early coming out. Just with that energy, supporting his new song, his new singles. And, because he had an album dropping soon. But then, also killed it like Cardi B. Cardi B had a hell of a performance. Seeing her, coming off that crazy tour. And still, he was kind of wish, got a BET award too, kind of just saying, have 3 kids and just to come back. She didn't really want to drop the album, but look, now she dropped the album, got an award. So it was good to see that. Ilani too, she did a great job. Hell of the year, Grammy nominated, winning Grammys. So this is her year, this is her time. So BT showing her love for that too. So and also Tiana Taylor, she got the Icon Award. It was very special to her because Janet Jackson actually gave it to her. So they're good friends, they say. So for her to even be a part of that, that's just something probably she never thought would happen in her lifetime. And Janet Jackson, give her a round of applause, Janet Jackson, because she's still, looking good at it, with all the stuff that she's been through. So for her to even pop out, is definitely special for the BET Award. She's definitely an icon and a legend. So, who else? Oh yeah, Leon Thomas. He got his first award with BET, I believe. He had a hell of a year. So, congratulations to him too. French Montana, Max B, and Rick Ross. They shut down the show with the hip hop. Their new single. That was dope. That was dope to watch too. Also like a tribute to D'Angelo. That was a vibe. That was a vibe to watch. And then also the tribute, basically celebration to Lauren Hill. So definitely everybody came out there. But I like the collaboration with Nas and Doja Cat. That was interesting to see because they had their little thing. They had their little thing. So I'm glad to see him actually say something, just announcing him with Doja just to perform with her. That just shows they squashed the beef and they got kind of a little chemistry there with making the music. I don't know, maybe it's something, maybe something might be brewing. I don't know. But Mia Doji, she's always still a dope artist, so it was cool to see her at the BET Awards. Now to perform, all over the world. That was cool too. And it's, Lauren Hill itself just came perform too. So she shut down the show with everything there too. So it was dope. Just seeing that, you know. But yeah, but it was definitely dope to see, Drewski, man. Drewski's a funny guy. He did a good job hosting the show, so it was good to see Drewski. He also did a skit with Joe. Oh my god, that joint is hilarious. He's always being hilarious with that. So let me check out Drewski's skit, man.
Every legend starts with a dream.
Get y'all ass up. It's time to dance. Damn it, Tito! How many times I gotta say it's 1-2 step?
The untold story of Joe Jackson.
But we just want to play with the other kids.
You ain't regular kids, man. Jackson 5. Wake up, dance. Go to sleep, dance. Fix your face, man. On the top.
5, 6, 7.
Didn't I tell y'all? Practice the steps. It's step, snap, step.
Dad, I thought it was step, clap, snap.
Childhood is nothing without fatherhood. Joe.
Joe, can we get ice cream after this?
Coming to theaters this fall.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. Juicy is done, but insane. But he keeps it up, man. He keeps it up. So you definitely gotta hats off to Drewski, man, when it came to that. Dope is dope is dope. But yeah, the beat tour is always a good time. Always good to see tribute and things like that. But also people talking about the GTA 6, man. They apparently launched it. They said it's coming back like out in November. It's November. So people are gearing up to see that game, but it's kind of discrepancy with people kind of saying like, damn, why didn't I come out with a disc? And they're like, maybe because it's like half of the one terabyte for that whole game. So it's a lot of memory. Just probably damn near gotta delete your whole PS5 onto just to get play the game. But um, people were still excited about it. I think they said it already had what 38, well 39 million pre-orders already. So they're predicting 3 billions already in sales. That's crazy. Not even out. So that's definitely gonna be jam packed with a lot of stuff I can see. But you kind of wanted to have it on the disc. Wanted to have a disc. You kind of just like, damn. I don't know why you pre-ordering it, but you can just download it. So it's like, why are you even doing that? But it's definitely anticipation. So people waiting and still dying to play it. They finally got a launch date. So people waiting, been waiting. I think it's gonna be a whole new world now because look at the way they're setting it up. They have different levels of pain, added different stores that they can add on to. People can buy it. It's gonna be it's definitely gonna be another world where people gonna stop. It's gonna stop for a minute. Like you gotta just like stay home and play games. You gonna have a good damn time to stay home and play some games. So yeah, so that was big announcement. So people waiting to see that November. All right. So here's some technology. So technology, man. Looks like Waymo got some competition. They got some new ones. Zoo. It's like automobile. Basically, it's like a taxi, but it's actually from Google. Google versus Amazon.
Ride in a zoo. This is a car. It's an autonomous vehicle, but it's nothing like you've ever seen before. All right, let's start the ride. So riding in a zoo feels like any other car. It feels kind of like you're riding in Waymo. It's really scary mentally to be like, I am going through the middle of an intersection without even a wheel to lead this thing. This is designed for ride shares across cities. Right now, it's only in Las Vegas, but eventually it'll be in San Francisco and probably other cities. Really interesting about this car is that it was built from scratch. It was built by Zoox itself. It's not Toyota. It's not a Chinese company. And there is no steering wheel, no pedals, no driver's seat. So it's a completely new concept with what we've seen from autos. Google and Amazon are facing off for who is going to own autonomous driving. Google owns Waymo and Amazon owns Zoop, which I'm sitting in right now. Look at how much leg space I have right now. The cabin is quite big. And it's really interesting because if you think about self-driving cars, you can completely reconfigure the inside of them. You don't need a driver's seat anymore, right? In fact, if you think about it, a driver's seat is such wasted space. And that's why here you have, I'm sure, a wheel behind that seat, but you don't have a driver's seat. And that's actually such a smart use of the space. And probably we're going to see more autonomous vehicles with this sort of setup. Okay, they also have a place to charge your phone right here, and they have cup holders because we're in Las Vegas, so that makes sense. Who do you think is going to win between Amazon or Google? I'm about to
I, yeah, that Amazon there, that's a good idea, because hey, why do you need a driver seat? Won't you use that more room for the passenger because nobody's driving it. Nobody's driving, nobody can take control of it. So get that out the way. So the way they kind of they made it a little extra room, it's looking like it's tough. But it's still, still a futuristic thing of people being comfortable with just car driving by itself. So still got some time, but that was looking like, they're ready to launch something. So Amazon came up with something, trying to give, Tesla run for their money, trying to give Wayno run for their money, and just have their own vehicle. So it was dope to see what the future hold of that type vehicle with no driving. But still is, still putting AI in these vehicles and putting a lot of hands trust in the vehicles. Is still dangerous in itself, but would you be comfortable with getting cars that basically have no driver and it just automatically drives from AI? That's what people got to decide, and these companies are deciding for you because now they're just kind of rolling these things out. So pay attention to that. All right, let's get into some motivation. Motivation. I need a motivation. All right, this one says there is always light on the path, even on the most challenging days. Yeah, always say what there's always light at the end of the tunnel. So yeah, just keep going, man. Sometimes these things like it's gonna take a while. Journey is a journey, So on the path, you gotta just hope from all the challenging, all the obstacles. There's definitely there's something that's light at the end of the tunnel that you can just be take away of anything that you're doing, even in the darkest times. It's always the littlest things could just try to brighten your day. So I look at like even if you're having bad days or even going through the worst moments, you gotta look at what's good in it. If it's just like I say, always waking up or just sometimes be like if you're waiting at the bus stop and the bus is coming on time, or if you're driving and you're catching all the green lights, like little things that could just make you be like, all right, my day wasn't that too bad. Just little things you try to find to try to make your day to, even this. You got so much things on social media. Something that might make you laugh, or somebody might send you something that make you laugh, so that can brighten up your day. So, there's little things, it's always little things, but that's probably just going as far as your day and getting to the next day. So that's what I got, when I heard that, but we got 4th of July coming up, so basically, a holiday for everybody, for you working, get that money, keep hustling, whatever. But yeah, enjoy the fireworks, enjoy little festivities and things like that, or enjoy some time off, and that's what I would like people to enjoy. Yeah. And what else was coming up? What else we had to? I think, oh yeah, this heat wave, man. This heat wave's getting crazy, man. Everywhere. It's not every city's about to be affected by that. So it's touching hundreds, every day type vibe. So yeah, make sure you stay hydrated, and stay cool. And they say don't run your AC too much, but absorb as much energy you can. And yeah, just drink some water. And that's what I got for everybody today. But definitely like, subscribe, leave a comment, do all that good stuff for me, and definitely check in the next one. So you already know the slogan. So in the meantime, between times, peace.
I love it. You guys are so great.